I'll give everybody a couple seconds to get ready. Do you have your coffee? Do you have water? What are you going to drink today? I want to hear about it. I want to see your comments. I'm not seeing them. I wish there was a way to see them. Okay. Jacob, if you can hear me on Zoom, join us on Facebook Live because that's where we're starting. Okay? Oh, cool. You said hi, Barb. Okay, so meet me at where that little link is for Facebook. Barbara Heller, artist and educator. That's where we're going. All right, we're going to get started. Cool. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm going to turn off my good time music because it's 8 a.m. It's 8 a.m. in the PST. Where are you? Why can't I see your comments? Are you? Oh, there we go. Iced coffee. Yes. Amanda Michelle. Love it. Hi. I'm ready to go too. And I'm so excited to hang out with you guys. This is so weird. Every time I do one of these, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many people. And I want to connect with each one of you. Hi, Selena. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, I'm so excited to see familiar faces. I'm still going to like just small talk with you guys for a minute because people are probably just logging on. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer Phelps, coffee and notepad. Let's do this. Yes, I love it. I got my coffee too. I have iced coffee. Have you guys ever seen that lady who does coffee talk? You know her? She's like half Italian, half Jewish. She's like so cute. She has like 200,000 viewers every time. Hello, KL Ross. Good morning or good afternoon. Is anyone here and it's like nighttime where you are? Isn't that cool when you can do like webinars? Everybody comes from a different place. I want to hear. Where are you guys? Where are you from? Like, where are you right now? Are you in LA? Are you in New York? Are you in Kansas? Tell me where you are, watching from. And also start to tell me all the things that you want to hear because I have my agenda, but I want to know what you want to hear because you're the reason I'm doing this. So, and also, this is not about like secrets. This is more about how to just get started. I'm not a soothsayer, I'm not a wizard, but I think that, there's like this hidden thing that people think, oh, it's like such a secretive business. What do I do? Walls, Georgia. Oh my gosh. Oh no, you are in Georgia. Yes. Jennifer Phelps Walls, you're in Georgia. I was just there for Passover. I'm a big Jew. I went there for It was so fun. Oh my gosh. Atlanta. I don't know if you're in Atlanta, but I loved Atlanta. Kale Ross, good morning from Monroe, Louisiana. Oh my God. I love the South. I went to school in Gainesville for a few years. Loved it. Go Gators. If you don't like the Gators, I'm sorry. I'm sure Jennifer, you like the dogs. I apologize, but I did go to Gainesville, Florida. Oh, Amanda Michelle, New York. I know who you are. Hello. Okay, let's get started. Also, you should always know I always have water right here because a coffee drink with milk in it, you always need water and always stay hydrated, guys. I also only allow myself 1 cup of coffee a day or even like half, like this amount, like a shot. Like whatever's worth a shot of espresso. Can you imagine me on coffee? Ah! Okay. And by the way, I was like, do I wear this shirt because it's so busy, But I think it's pretty. I actually got it at Target. Okay, Bridget Sienna. Hello, Bridget. I'm going to see you on Sunday at my workshop. Guys, if anybody can come to my workshop, I'm doing a live workshop in Studio City, California this Sunday, and I have 1 spot left in the class. 1 spot. So if you want to be live with me in person, please fly into LA. Selena's in PA. What's up? Okay, let me just check if anybody's on the Zoom chat. Nope, that's it. Just Jacob. Okay, I'm going to get off of Zoom right now because that is going to annoy me. Okay, no sound? What do you mean no sound? Can you guys not hear me? Can you not hear me? You should be able to hear me. You can't hear me? I hope you can hear me. Good morning, all. No sound? Wait, can you not hear me? Let's make sure you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know, please, because I want you to be able to hear me. And it's 8:04. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so excited. This is so surreal because I'm like only seeing your comments. But let me just make sure that you guys can hear me. Yep, you can hear me. Thanks, Kale Ross. I appreciate it. Yes, Brian. Thank you. Brian Brock. That's such a cool name, Brian Brock. You should be in voiceover. This is Brian. I can hear you like slating Brian Brock, McDonald's. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I'm so excited to hang out with you. I love teaching things that I like kind of get because like can we all get everything and be a master? No, we're always learning, but it's actually a Hebrew word that teacher is ma'ora, which means like from light and just shares. It's not a master. It's like you when you say you're teaching in like Hebrew, let's say it means that you're learning with somebody else. And I always learn so much from my students. So I'm just gonna like Kale Ross because thank you for letting me know you can hear me. Um, Whoever said that, okay, got sound now. Thank you, Pam Cooper. I appreciate it. Oh, so love the interaction, and I'm so glad you can hear me. Okay, because that's like the whole point of voiceover. Um, I want to start with a little mindful exercise because I'm sure that some of you have seen webinars before, and I have too, where it's like you feel so disconnected from the person, and you're kind of like, who is this lady or man who's like talking to me from far away. So I want wherever you are, unless you're in the car and you're driving, which you should not be on your phone, but if you can pull over, or if you're in your apartment or house or farm, wherever you are, Georgia, um, I want you to sit somewhere really comfy, okay? And I want you to cross your legs, like, crisscross, and just flip one or both of your hands up like this and put them on your lap. And just take a deep breath in into your belly and breathe out. One more time. Deep breath in and breathe out. And on this next breathing out, I want you to imagine from the tip of your head down to your toes, your breath is coming in, and see if it fills up your body with a different color. Like if it started out blue, maybe it's going to be pink. Those are my two favorite colors. All through your body, and then let it out and put it into a balloon. Anything that's negative in your life, I want you to put it into a balloon and just put it on the side, maybe over your right shoulder, and blow it up into the stratosphere. The reason why we're starting out with this, I know you're like, this is supposed to be voiceover. Why are we like, meditating? Because I just wrote a book on meditation. I know it's so weird, but it really helps, and I do it in all my classes, whether I'm teaching voiceover, theater, playwriting, creative writing. I do all that stuff, and I also start every day like that. And I want you to just commit to it for 2 seconds. Take a deep breath in, and just blow out any expectations, any negativity, anything that's telling you like, why am I on this call? Why am I doing this? I'm 53, or however young or old we think we are. I remember I was in New York and I was at NYU. I was at Tisch School of the Arts. I was 18, and I started meeting all these famous people because there were a lot of famous people around and also like in school. And I was like, why am I even here? I haven't made it. I haven't been on a television show yet. I'm such a lame-o. And I want to start with this because I feel like if we can all just get centered, if you haven't done it yet, I want you to do it now. Put down the phone, just listen and take a deep breath. Close your eyes just for a second and just breathe out any negativity and put it in a balloon, and just then on the next breath, let that go into the stratosphere. And then we can begin. I needed that. Maybe you didn't, but I did. I always start with a letting go because I think that it's really important to do that. And then usually what I have people do is take an imaginary scissor and cut the string of the balloon and then breathe again and let that out. And you can take that with you in whatever you do. So you went to a voiceover webinar today just to learn a mindfulness exercise. Why not? That's how I teach. So I want to start with a little story. Some of you may know my sister, Kathy Heller. She is an author. She is a speaker. She speaks all over the world. And she has a podcast called Don't Keep Your Day Job. And it's awesome. If you haven't listened to it, that's another reason to listen to this first few minutes of this webinar. You want to go onto iTunes and check it out. She's interviewed lots of actors, producers, writers, philosophers, and her whole thing is don't keep your day job. Well, I was probably her first student. I'll tell you why. We were living together for a short time back in like 2006 or 7, and I was working as a headhunter, which is a terrible way to say recruiter. I always hated that. I'm a headhunter. I'm gonna hunt you down. And I was really scared to quit my day job. I had been an actor for many years, and I was so sick of, the up and down pay, feast or famine. And I said to her one day, she's like, "Why aren't you doing what you love?" And I was like, "Well, it's so hard. It's like I just needed a break, and I wanted to, like, if you've ever done this, if some of you are artists, or maybe you're on your way to your day job right now, or you're taking a little break, or you're in the bathroom, or whatever you can do, I get it. Um, but I just wanted, to have a day job because I was like so sick of like yeah. And so I remember she cornered me like in the kitchen, and she was like, "You get to make up your life." And I was like, "No, I don't. I can't do it. I have to pay my bills." And she's like, "Yeah, you get to pay your bills in whatever way that you want. And you get to do that. You get to pick that." And I was like, "No, I can't. I can't pick it." And it was like that scene, if you guys have ever seen Good Will Hunting, you know what I'm talking about? When he's like, "It's not your fault." Oh, Robin Williams. It's a really serious scene, but he's like, "It's not your fault." He's like, "I know." And he's just like, "You get to pick it." And I was like, "No, I don't." And she's like, "Yes, you do." And I couldn't stop crying. And she's like, "You really do get to pick it. You get to create what you want to do." And I remember just being like, "Ah," and I couldn't stop crying. And the next day I went in there and I gave them my notice. And I felt so free. And like Tony Robbins says, like, burn your boats. That's not what this webinar is about. Definitely keep your job. But the point is, she and I came up with a PR firm, actually. And we wound up like creating this like marketing company. And then that was short lived because she got a call from Hannah Montana. Back then that show was on. Maybe you guys remember it, when Miley Cyrus looked like a child, not what she is now. But it was, she got that, and she's a songwriter, and I was able to work part time doing the marketing and then still do voiceover, and I got really really serious about voiceover then. So why am I telling you all this? Because this class that I have created online is really about something called a side hustle, where you have your regular job. And then the secret, even though it's not really a big secret, there's tons of books out like about it. Chris Gillibo has a wonderful podcast about it. Um, is you create something in your life on the side that you can commit to. And the cool thing about voiceover is, even now, I have two agents. I have an agent here in LA. I'm visiting LA right now, and I have an agent in New York. And I'm able to really balance my voiceover career with everything else that I'm doing. I have a television show that I'm working on. I'm a writer. I'm writing a film. I've been writing it for a while. I do cabaret shows, and I also teach. So you can really do voiceover with like a lot of other things, and it'll bring in that extra income for you. Like, I still get checks all the time from doing movies where I've done like Amy Schumer's voice and Melissa McCarthy. We'll get into that in a second. People are always like, what, how do you do Melissa McCarthy's? What, can't she do it? So we'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to go through all the different types of voiceover there are. Let me just check your comments real quick, because I'm like talking like a maniac. Hi, Edward Alter Schmuel Shapiro. I know you. Hello, LaPetra. I'm just going to randomly like you guys. And Shulamit, hello. Hi, Brad Crystal. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time. Deborah Jones, good morning. I'm not receiving anything. Oh no. You don't have to receive anything. You're just, can you hear me now, Deborah Jones? And Karen Ashkenazi. Hi. So nice to see you guys here. I know some of you really well. Okay. So I told you that story because there was this time in my life where I really didn't think that I could do anything artistic. I would just be a slave to my day job. And it was a very dark time. Has anyone ever felt that way? Let me know if you have. Are you there right now? Hi, Nathan Downing. Hi, Ben Yemba. What's up? That's such a cool name, Yemba. Um, Feel free to ask me questions on here. We're going to get into some questions as well that I'm going to ask you. But I guess thank you all the likes and the ha. Oh, I see all the emojis now. Oh, I see an angry one. I wonder what that's from. Okay. But please let me know some of the things that you want to learn. Because if you can tell me what some of your goals are, I can speak to that. And I'm very like, I have, things that I want to cover, but I really am here for you. Like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of this class. I kept getting people would email me or text me or call me or, email me from Facebook and be like, hey, can you help me make a voiceover demo? And let me just tell you, I spent a fortune in the beginning with all these teachers that were so mean. Number one, were not mindful, wouldn't have started with a mindfulness exercise like we just did. um, and they honestly, they had this expertise and I got nothing from it. I remember spending once, I'm not exaggerating, $500 for a 30-minute voiceover lesson with this woman who was supposed to be like, I will never say her name because I don't talk about people like that. But if you emailed me and said, should I take a lesson with this person? I would tell you the truth. I would say no. And you can always do that. And I usually answer every DM like as soon as possible, usually within 24 to 48 hours, by the way. But I went in with this woman and she was like, my appointment started at 4:30 and I got there early because I was like, oh my God, it's only a half hour and I definitely want to get my money's worth. It was so much money for me at the time for one lesson, a half hour. Then this is like over 10 years ago. And I showed up at her gorgeous apartment. Yeah, of course she has a gorgeous apartment. She charges $500 for a half hour. And I knock on the door at like, I said 4:30, right? Was the lesson. So I think I knocked at like 3:25 and I heard her on the phone and I kept knocking because I was like, I got to get in there. I want to start at 4:30. And she comes to the door and she's like, your lesson starts at 4:30. I'm not answering the door until 4:30. And I was like, okay. It was so harsh. Like yeah. Anyway, and I remember like I learned like one thing from her, which I still use, but I left and I just started crying because I was like, I have just been had. And so it's funny, like I don't charge that much for my class. And people are like, oh my God, you should be charging so much more. And I'm like, no, because I know what all these people are going through. And I feel like I never want to be that person. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. So please write me some of your questions if you can. I mean, if you're in the car, don't write while you're driving. And again, you should not be on your phone when you're driving. But if you're, in the bathroom at work or if you're at home, please write me some, ideas, some questions that you have, some goals that you have for the class. And the reason why I started with that story is because for me, I really thought that there was absolutely no way that I'd be able to have a voiceover career and still, have a day job that pays my bills, because in the beginning, you're definitely going to have another job, unless you get lucky, which is always possible. But I was able to really get clear that I know I could do both. And that's the biggest secret or gift that I want to give you today, is that you can always do voiceover on the side with any other job. And then at some point you may have to have a super flexible job because you're going to have to go to casting directors' offices. You're going to have to work, you're going to get work. But what is the real work doing voiceover? Do you know? Does anybody know? Do you want me to tell you? It's the auditioning. And so the auditions is your job. That is absolutely your job. How do you get your auditions? You have to work hard. How do you get jobs from auditions? You have to work harder. And then how do you work hard when you don't even know what to do yet? You work with me. And I'm happy to tell you what to do. So yeah, I mean, that is basically that's the beginning of the class. And I will always answer questions, emails, comments, whatever you want. I really like to get back to people because I know what it's like to be the person asking the questions. And it takes so much courage even to ask the question, that if I miss one, I'm like, oh no, I missed a question. So, feel free to email me twice if I don't get back to you. And I really want to work with you, like privately. So if you sign up for my class, which you guys, I'm going to put it in the comments right now. If you are here right now, then you get a special little bonus. Let me start giving you all the prizes because there's lots of prizes that I like. I just like giving stuff away. It's like one of my favorite things to do, because I know what that's like. I know what it's like to have free prizes and free stuff. So this is our challenge for 3 days. So only if you're on the call right now, I'm going to tell you what it is. See where it says challenge for 3 days? I just put that in. Oh, loud and clear here. Oh, now I'm seeing all these other most important elements of a successful audio reel. Thank you, Amanda Michelle. I will get into that. Thank you, Jan Petty. I'm sorry. I'm just getting all these comments now. Finally got on. Sorry for the delay. No problem. A. Al Kim Roy. LJ Tatum McKinney. Is this a fulfilling part-time career? Yes, it is. And we're going to talk about that. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Al Kim Roy. You like my dress. Um, Target. Yeah. Okay, so you see where I just put challenge for 3 days? So sign up for that right now. I'm going to give you that. Just click on that thing. And for actually, it's next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but every day I'm going to post a little something before that. The cart for my class opens today, August 1st, and it closes August 15th. So if you can sign up for my class, and I'm going to put that link in right now, um, you are going to get ready and get started for it by signing up for the challenge for 3 days. So I just put in the link for the challenge for 3 days. Every day until next Wednesday, I'm gonna like be putting in a little something, an inspirational quote. But I'm gonna give you homework tonight, and you're gonna by going into that challenge for 3 days, you're gonna see what the homework is. And on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, I'm gonna pick a time. I think I picked. I'll be back in New York, so I think I picked 10 a.m. New York time, which is um, I guess 7 a.m. Pacific time, and we'll go live again. And I'm gonna give you you're gonna do a voiceover for me. You can do it on your phone. You can do it as a voice memo. You can either play it live there, or you can email it to me if you can, as an MP3 if you know how to do that. And if all this sounds too hard and complicated, just do it as a video on your phone and email it to me on Facebook. But if you know how to make an MP3 already, or you can, email me a voice memo, you can either do it to barb@barbheller.com, or you can do it on Facebook, and I will start Fort Worth, Texas. Okay, got it. Thank you. Kim lives in Texas. So you got it. So there's a couple things. I'm gonna try to be very clear because I get so excited. I talk like in 7 different directions. So I just put up a challenge in the comments for 3 days. Does everybody see that? Okay, I see the little hearts. So you're gonna go on there. It's its own Facebook group, and that's just for being here right now in the webinar. Good job, you guys. So you're gonna go on that challenge. You're going to see right away there's a homework assignment. I want you to do that. So you're going to see a script, and you're going to record it to the best of your ability. And next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, every day, I'm going to come on and I might give you more homework if you already did the first one. And I'm going to critique or give you feedback. And I promise I'll be kind. I don't like wiping the floor with people. I don't get any enjoyment out of that. And I think it's really weird when teachers do that. So, because I've had that done to me and I'm like, what is the point? So for next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, for about 45 minutes to an hour, we will go Facebook Live on there, and I will give you feedback if you'd like to do that. Just let me know that you'll be there. Let's see, do I have any more comments? Okay, cool. So that's the first little gifty that I'm giving you, and it's totally free. And here's something special. When you sign up for class today, I will send into your email box 2 little freebies. So as soon as you sign up for my online course, now we're going to go through that in a second. It is all over this Facebook page, Barbara Heller, artist and educator. But I will put it in right now into the comments. Hang on a second. It's kind of hard. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So it's a Teachable class. If you guys have ever been on Teachable, I'm doing that right now. So do you see it? I'm already a working voiceover artist. Great. Jennifer Phelps started in May. I've only had 4 jobs. Great. Some e-learning, promotional, and audiobooks. I'm really wanting steady work, and I'm wondering approximately when that starts for full-time voiceovers. I realize it's different for everyone, and you're totally right. So hold on. Let me just finish this next part. I'm just reading everyone's comments as they come in, but I'm going to get to everybody's question. Do you have any of your classes in the evenings? So depending on where you live, yes, we can talk about that. And I can also work that out for you. Do you guys see? Someone just liked it. I just put in the comment section, yourvoiceovervoice.teachable.com. Do you see that link? I see you guys liking it. Thank you so much. That is the main class that I'm talking about today. Hold on, let me get water. Take a break. I'm going to cleanse the cords, guys. Yeah, so that is the actual voiceover class. And let me tell you what's included in that. So I have been in this business for 17 years, almost 18. And I I was like always like people would say, "Why don't you teach a voiceover class?" I'm like, "No, no, I can't." And because I'm mainly an actor and a writer and a producer, which took up most of my time, I was like, no, that, and I also teach. I'm like, no, I'm not really a voiceover artist. And then I was like, wait a minute. That's where the majority of my work has been coming. That's the majority of how I've made a living in Hollywood. Like, of course, this is who I am. This is like a big part of who I am. And then I was like, could I actually teach it? I'm like, no, I can't. And then I've had some students over the years and we made demos together and I was like, I was pretty good at that. And then I started thinking, wait, what would go into teaching voiceover? I'll just like tell everybody everything I know. And then I started teaching these workshops and I realized that it was like an acting class, but it was just in the studio. I just had this like block with it. Have you ever had a block? And then I realized that I could like put all of my teaching together, like the mindfulness, the acting, and then also, just everything about recording in one. And so it became a whole thing. And I started videotaping myself at auditions, in my closet. I have this whole thing on my YouTube page, which you're welcome to subscribe to, which is called Voices from My Closet, where I've done like the biggest one I did was the Kate McKinnon. Hi, I'm Kate McKinnon. Hello. And so because I do so many impressions, I was like, oh, I could just like totally, like just keep videotaping myself doing auditions, and a lot of cool things came out of it, and I wound up creating about is it 20 hours of content, something like that. There's a lot of video, there's PDFs, and I just created this whole curriculum, and it's on Teachable right now. So if you want access to that curriculum, you want to go to Teachable and subscribe right now to the class. And you don't want to do it all in one shot, although you could. But I will break it down for you every week. We're going to have class online just like this, and it will be taped so I can easily email it to you. But it will be about an hour a week. So you get 4 hours of live coaching a week, plus, 4 hours of live coaching a month, plus you also get all of the curriculum online, and it takes a while to get through, and you might want to do them a couple times, and you'll also have access to me all the time, like emails. You can Voxer me. I can give you my Voxer information, and we can go back and forth and talk to each other, and it kind of feels like a live call. And then if you sign up on my voiceover, yourvoiceovervoice.com, yourvoiceovervoice.teachable.com. Sorry, it's still kind of early here. Um, you will also get a discount on all of my services. So I do one-on-one coachings, either online or in person, and I can set them up in LA or New York because I'm bi-coastal. I'm always flying back and forth. Um, or you can do it online, and I can coach you that way, and you'll always get a discount on the services. And I also like my class is designed to help you create your own demo for reels. But I can also help you create a demo, just me and you. And because I'm a writer, I can like, write the copy and everything. And so that can be pretty expensive. But if you're doing it online, it's a lot cheaper. And if you're also, in that class, you're going to be constantly learning, and it's like very cumulative, like everything we do. In fact, all my students that were in my last cohort are signing up for this next one because they're like, 6 months wasn't enough. I didn't have enough time to get through everything. So just so you know, I am so here for you, and it's a very low price. It's only $100 a month. It's basically like $97 or something per month, and I believe you can get through it in 4 months, no problem. But you may want to repeat it, or you may just want to stay in it because every time like new people come into the class, we share different things, and we're able to, really help each other work our stuff out. So it's kind of like a voiceover workout group, and it's also just like a pump of positivity once a week. And a lot of people that were in it last time said that it was really helpful for them just creatively because they were able to like meet with a group every week and just feel, connected. And that made me really happy to hear that. So, and the reason why I called it Your Voice Over Voice, and this is going to get a little deep again, and spiritual, which I do all the time. I'm goofy and I'm spiritual. That's my two qualities that are probably most pronounced. But the thing about this class is, I'm a really big fan of Julia Cameron, and I just actually spent a weekend with her last weekend on my birthday, my English birthday, in the woods. She had this, if you've ever heard of The Artist's Way, she wrote that book. And, she believes, and I believe this too, that there's something divine in all of us. And we, whether you call it the Schwartz or the universe or whatever, and our creative voice is like sometimes buried deep, 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 deep down. And we have to do our morning pages, if you know what those are, or meditate in the morning, or pray, or, you know, do a sound bath, or, let out like we just did with the balloon, some of that schmutz, some of that, like the dirt on the surface, in order to just kind of like get beyond it and get to the beauty deep inside. And so I created this class, and I was like, what am I going to call it? And I was like, I think it's called Finding Your Voice Over Voice. The voice deep down that's overreaching, has always been there since the beginning, that really is who you are. And I really look at voiceover that way. And if you look on my page, I quoted one of my students, and he said, it was Kevin, and it was the biggest compliment he could give me. Kevin, if you're on here, I love you. Thanks so much. Do you have any of your classes? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. He said like his quote was something along the lines of, this won't just help you with voiceover, it'll help you with your creative voice. And that is one of the biggest things that I teach. In fact, side note, one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm creating a retreat center / camp for teens and young adults who are struggling with depression and anxiety. And my biggest thing is I like to turn anxiety into art, because I think that's really all it is. It's like anxiety is like just, when you're feeling those shakes, or you're feeling that, oh, I don't know what's going on with me. I have to stop. So I think that anxiety is actually just like God or the universe or the force in the world, like kind of knocking on the door and saying, I want to talk to you. Like, where's your art? I know that's like kind of a weird theory, but that's what I think. So we're getting deep in here. Okay, so let's go through some of the questions, and then we'll get back to some of the other things I want to tell you. I enjoy singing and would love to know how to get started in voiceover. Hi, Adrienne Fountain. I love that name. That's also a really good voiceover voice. And Dan Petty kind of sounds like Tom Petty, which I love. Yeah, so we're talking about how to get started, and that is actually what my class is about. It's all about how to begin. Sometimes beginning is really the hardest thing in the world, because I remember with me, I had already been in voiceover. When I had that day job, I had already had an agent, but and they were about to drop me because I was working a full-time job, and it was a little hard to do both. But I was able to see a clearing, and I was able to see that I could actually do both. And once I got that, and I was like, I will do both. Like, obviously, I need to pay my bills, but I also want to do the thing that I love. And there are so many ways, you guys, to make money, and also at the same time start making money doing the things that you love. And it's way easier to keep a day job or some sort of job, so that you don't have that pressure on the art, because then that's when people go crazy. They're like, I want to do this thing. And I believe there's like a lot of homeless people right now in big cities like LA and Las Vegas and New York City, where they came there with a dream, and they were like, I'm only doing my dream. You have to make money while you're doing it. And it also puts too much pressure on the art. And then you also start to resent your art, because it shouldn't be about the making the money, right? The making of the money. I sound Italian. Okay, so I hope that answered your question, Adrienne. Amanda Michelle, most important elements of a successful audio reel. So we're going to get into that. That's a little too specific of a question just for this webinar, but I will give you like the gist of it. An audio reel has to be short. Like, I would only, it's depending on which area of voiceover you want to do. We're going to get into all of them in a second. But audio reels should be short. That's like the main thing. And the reason, I'm just putting a pillow behind me so I can, audio reels should be short. They should be about a minute long, and you should have a few in each of the areas that you want to do. Like I'm whatever. I'm kind of a crazy voiceover artist because I do everything. I've done promos and trailers and video games and commercials, which is like the main thing that I do. And then also I do ADR, which not a lot of people do, which is I'm doing impressions for big celebrities for their movies. And so for each of those, I have about like a minute reel. And I've combined mine. So like the commercial promo would be one reel, and the animation and video games would be another, and then the ADR is its own thing. Thank you, thumbs up. I'm glad you like that. But they should be short. It should be like about a minute long and no longer, because agents, they ain't got time for that. And also casting directors, they want to be able to listen and be done. And you want to, have at least three different voices, but you don't need that many more. Like people are like, oh, I have to have seven different voices. And by the way, I listen to audio reels all the time, and people send me, it's funny, they do a lot of work on the background music, right? Like it'll be like if it's animation, you hear like large sound effects, and the sound effects sound cooler than the voice, and when that happens, not good. Not good at all. That's called spending a lot of money on production, and or time on production, and not the voice. And so many times I get voiceover reels from students, and it's the same voice in different scripts with different background noises. And that's the worst, because agents are like, that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear the talent of the person. I want to hear the range of a person. And the reason why you really need a coach is because you may think that your one voice is so good and you can like morph it into, because the script is different. But that's called having a blind spot, and I can help you with that, or a deaf spot, unfortunately, where you can't hear that the voice that you just did is the same. I got a reel from a friend who wants to get into voiceover, and he makes action animation, right? And so all of his voices were like this. Every single voice was like this. And sometimes it was high and sometimes it was low, but it was the same voice, same timbre, everything. And I had to tell him, like, it's the same voice. Like, you did it five different ways with five different background music things, and you need to just make, if that's what you're selling, which is fine. Like Don LaFontaine, he never said, I don't know if you remember him, but he was the movie guy who was like, in a world, that guy, that was his voice, and it sold multi millions of dollars of ads, right? And what made him great was that. And that could be your thing. If that's what you do, great. I mean, wonderful. The problem though is like when you have a voiceover reel and you have it five different times with five different scripts and five different soundtracks, that's not cool. Nobody wants to hear that. Okay, let me keep going. So I hope that answered your question. I gave you a little bit of tips for successful audio reel. And if you want to make one, I have two packages. One's online and one's in person, depending on where you live. And I'm so happy to meet with you, Amanda, Michelle, and create one. It's really, really fun. And I have like a whole workbook and stuff you have to do. I mean, I remember going to people to help me with my audio reel, and it was a nightmare because they didn't know what they were doing. And they weren't working voiceover artists. That's the thing. I believe that you should only take coaching with people who are actually doing the thing that you want to do, unless they're like 90 years old. Like I took a acting lesson with Helen Hunt's dad, Gordon Hunt. Excuse me. Fairly recently. I mean, he passed away about a year ago, sadly, but he was a director for big television shows in the 80s and even the 90s. And I remember seeing his name on the screen when I would watch TV. And then I heard, because I really love Helen Hunt, that is one of my favorite impressions to do. She's just so amazing, you know. Hope you like that. If you like to, give me a thumbs up. Anybody know who Helen Hunt is? Oscar winner? Nobody? Okay. As good as it gets. Mad about you. Actually met her once, and it took so much for me not to say hi. Like I was trying not to, yeah, imitate her. That was really embarrassing. Oh, you liked it. Okay, good. I got some yes. Okay, awesome. If you want to hear some of my impressions, just go to my YouTube page and you'll see really, really good reels. It's a playlist. Or I can email them to you if you want. But anyway, I love Helen Hunt. She was one of my first impressions when I was a teenager. I've been doing impressions since I was like 3 years old, but I was doing her voice when I was a teen, and I would watch Mad About You, and after the show would end, I would shut it off, and I would just talk like Helen Hunt for the rest of the night because I loved her voice. Paul, God, what is wrong with you? Thank you if you liked it. But anyway, I'm working on it in a few years. But I remember, she said on a talk show, I think she was on Letterman, and I've watched so many videos of her because I have to do her voice sometimes for movies and TV. And so I was like watching it once, and she said something like, the best acting teacher I ever had was my father. And I was like, oh my God, I got to study with that guy. And then it turned out a couple of my friends actually studied with him for years. And so one day I got the guts and I just drove there and I went to his class and I got to sit in his class and I sat behind him and he was amazing. He was like an angelic teacher. Why am I telling you this super long story with all these ad libs? Is because he is like the only kind of person you want to take lessons from who is not currently doing the art. Does that make sense? So if he's teaching acting, right, he's really directing. That's what he's doing. He was a famous television director for many, many years. So he has what to say, he has what to share. But I wouldn't go to someone for act. And then he stopped and then just started doing acting lessons, right? Teaching acting. So I get that. But I disagree when people sign up to work with someone who either has never worked in that business or is not currently working in that business. And here's why. And if I had followed my own advice, not I had to learn this piece of advice. But the person that I was just telling you about, who I spent $500 for the 30 minutes, she was not a working voiceover actor. She might have done it for like maybe a year or something, but I wasn't listening. I was just listening to all the hype around her, right? Like sometimes people with the biggest hype are actually not that great. And maybe she was a better teacher. She wasn't to me, but maybe she was a better teacher than an actor, and that's okay. That makes sense. That happens. But she was unfulfilled, clearly, because she was not nice. And she wasn't currently working. So there were things happening in the industry that even though she said she knew about, she wasn't actually doing them herself. And so whether you take my class or not, which I hope you will, it's in there's the challenge in there, and then the link that says teachable class. You can start today. That's the one that you want to sign up for if you want to take my monthly class. And again, it's 4 months, and you can either pay once a month or you can pay all at once and then forget about it. And then you'll get discounts on my private coaching. But whether you take my class or not, always work with somebody who's either currently doing the thing that you love and they seem like relatively happy, healthy person. Very important to trust your gut on that, no matter what. Or they did it for so long and they're so happy and they have so much wisdom to give that they want to just give it. That it's like Oprah. Like she is just one of those people when clearly she's still doing her art fine, journalism, interviewing people, and also acting sometimes and producing. She does a million things, but there's something about her that's very like, I just want to give it away. That's what you want to look for in a teacher, whether you work with me or someone else, someone who has wisdom to share and wants to give it over. And in your gut, you're like, oh, yeah, that person's like relatively healthy, sane. Because let's face it, everyone's a little bit crazy. No, that's not how the song goes. If you know Avenue Q, you know what I didn't say because it's not a nice word. But anyway, that's my take on that. Like hiring someone who's happy, has wisdom to share, and is happy about giving it over and isn't stingy or, someone from the voiceover world. We had this really long talk that did not end last week. He's like a really big voiceover guy and he teaches a lot of classes and he's really wonderful. And he had written like this comment on my thing. He was saying it to all the students who were looking at my class. He's like, just beware, make sure when you're signing up for a class that it's a good one. And we got into this whole conversation and we like peripherally knew each other, but we were able to like really get to know each other last week. And he was like, oh my gosh, you're so great. Like your students are going to love you. And clearly you're like a really like good down to earth person. He's like, I only wrote that because he said you wrote The Secrets of Voiceover, and he's like, that just sounds so scammy. And I was like, oh, you're right. Like, I didn't even come up with it. One of my people that works on my team did. But regardless, it got you here. But it's so funny because I'm like the opposite of like scammy. And I've gone online just when I was first dabbing my toes into this, and I've seen all the scammy, weird voiceover teachers who like, it's just so weird. Like, you can just feel it in your gut when you see what they put up, and then you watch their webinars, and they're just like I don't know the last time they did a voiceover, and they also just they seem like carnival people. I don't know. Nothing's wrong with a carnival person, just not someone I want to take lessons with. So anyway, I just yeah, when someone's trustworthy and you know when they're not. Okay, that was a very long answer to the how to build a successful audio reel. Okay. Is this a fulfilling part-time career? Yes, I really think it is. I mean, can you tell? I'm pretty fulfilled. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's funny because as an actor and a writer and a producer, I have so many goals, right? Like if you go on my I mean, you can easily find out about me because I post so much. If you go to Instagram at Barbie Heller, BARBIEHELLER. So if you go to that, you'll see that I'm in the process of creating this TV show. It's called People in the Park Eating Pastries. Yes, it's a little bit like Jerry Seinfeld's show, but it's a little more feminine, and we meditate in every episode, and it's mindful, and I get right into like some deep questions. And I'm very into, like sharing from the heart. I don't just do small talk. And I also interview pastry chefs all over the world. Like I've done New York, LA. I'm planning on continuing to travel, and I just love it. Like those are the three things I love the most. I love pastries. I think they're beautiful. I love food porn. That's the only kind of porn I watch. I love people, all kinds of people, not just comedians, but everybody. Although I mostly have comedians on because I also do stand up and cabaret, and they're just so interesting. They're just fascinating. Stand-ups are like the best philosophers on the planet, and they're so funny and easy to talk to most of the time. And I love parks. I go to parks all the time. They're like my favorite place to play. It's just so fun to like be outside and breathe. And I'm into this thing called grounding, where you can take your feet and like put them in the earth. And when you actually put your feet on grass and at the bottom of trees and in mud and on the earth itself, it's supposed to change your alkaline in your body, and it really does. Been a lot of studies on it. So that's another thing that I always promote in my class, is to have a lot of balance, because if you are stuck in your closet, like I am lots of the time doing my voiceover work in New York, or if you're in the studio, might not see the light of day. You could easily just get buried in editing and working on your stuff. And so I like to like get outside. But as a fulfilling part-time career, yes, it totally is. And that's what I'm selling. I am not selling you on my class to make big bucks really quickly. That does not happen. That doesn't happen for anyone. Even Will Smith, who's like, a voiceover artist sometimes, right? Um, he was in that big shark movie. I can't remember the name of it. If you remember, let me know. But that, by the way, that there was a movie where Will Smith and I believe Angelina Jolie played sharks, or like I just remember the moment where I was sitting in the audience, and I was already a voiceover artist, and I saw the trailer, and they were in it, and I was like, that's the end of voiceover. But before that movie, um, little people who weren't big celebrities got to be the kings and queens of voiceover. And then once they were in that movie, whenever that was, I think it was like the late 90s or something, that was it. I mean, yes, Lion King had already come out, and there were like bigger Disney movies, but there was something about that movie where every single character was a star, and I was like, oh no. So even for them, if you just took their voiceover career, they're not making billions of dollars on voiceover, but it's such a fun industry, and it's so sweet, and it doesn't matter what you look like, clearly. um, you get to just be yourself. You can show up in your pajamas. I've never actually done that. I always try to take a page from Paul Feig, who was the best director I ever worked with as a voiceover artist. When I did Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy's voice for The Heat. He was the best director slash person I've probably ever had the chance to work with. He wears a suit and tie every single day, unless he's on camera. And even then, like if you watch The Office, when he's been on The Office, he's directed a bunch of episodes and written some of them and produced. But he is such a just he takes this business so seriously, which is so awesome. Like he literally wears a tie every day. I don't wear a tie, clearly. Like I don't have sleeves on. I was afraid to show sweat stains, actually. It's the truth. But anyway, yeah, like it is such a fulfilling part-time career. And to get to the heart of the matter where I started, see, I can always go back. I'm always looping back. Um, so I consider myself an actor, producer, writer, and voiceover artist. And it, even though voiceover was probably the place where I've made the most money in Hollywood, I don't consider it the only thing that I do, because I only do it like a couple hours a day, if that. Like I'll get between 1 and 10 auditions a day from the combination of both my agents in LA and New York. And then sometimes I have to go out and it's a longer day because in New York, especially, you go out and you meet with the casting directors in their offices and you audition there. And there's always editing time too, which, you add to your auditions, but it's a small part of my life. And yet it's so fun and fulfilling. I was like, I want to make a class out of it. And it's just fun. So if that's something you want to try out as a part-time career, I think it's super fulfilling. Hope that was a good answer. I'm already working in voiceover. Started in May. This is Jennifer Walls. I've only had 4 jobs, some e-learning, promotional, and audiobooks. That's so cool. Oh, I forgot to say I also do audiobooks. I'm really wanting steady work, and I'm wondering approximately when that starts for most full-time voiceovers. I realize it's different for everyone. So I hope, Jennifer, you're still on. If you are, please let me know. Shark Tales, yes! I almost said Shark Tank, by the way. Thank you, Selena. Yeah, I remember that was the movie, and I bet if you looked at the trends, or someone must have done a study on it. I mean, they must have. If they haven't, they're losing a great opportunity. But I remember Shark Tales was that moment. I was like, oh my God, it is over for the little people. But it's not over. So let me get back to your question, Jen. So yeah, I mean, there are obviously people that just work full-time as voiceover artists. But again, I know some of those people who only do voiceover full time. That's it. And, I've said that before because like some weeks that is what I'm doing. Like that is the only thing I'm doing for money. But it's never going to be 40 hours a week. I mean, maybe for Don LaFontaine, like he had a huge studio in his house. And the truth is, and I am never going to tell you, it'll never happen for you. I'll always be like, yeah, of course it can happen. I just don't want to mislead you. But yes, the possibility of you working as a full-time voiceover artist, for sure. That's definitely a huge possibility. And I would be like, yes, do it. But unless you have this like really kitschy, nichey sort of voice, and there's something special that you do that no one else can do, which is, again, I mean, that is true for everyone. Every one of you watching right now and listening, there's something you can do that no one can do. It might not even be in voiceover, but whatever. Even in voiceover, there's probably something really special you can do that no one else can do, for sure. But having said that, what was special about Don LaFontaine, who probably was the only voiceover artist that probably worked sometimes 40 hours a week, okay? Let me just make that clear, is that his voice was so special and so noted and noteworthy, and people knew it, that he was sought after for every trailer, right? Like in a world, right? And then there were people that tried to imitate him, and no one came exactly close, but like close, but not on the money, because that's what made him so special. Excuse me. We actually had the same agent. So I, walked into the same room as him, and he passed away shortly after I joined, which is just so sad. And there was a huge picture of him at TGMD where I went, but he was a legend. And there's a movie that Lake Bell, who I look a little bit like, directed and wrote. It's called In a World, and it has nothing to do with him actually, but it's just the fact that it's about voiceover. But I mean, he was so special, and he created such a signature item that a name of a movie was like named after his In a World, right? Yeah, I remember when that movie came out, people were like, "Oh my God, is that you?" I'm like, "No, but thanks for rubbing it in. Thanks so much." Yeah, I really do look like Lake Bell a little bit. We were once on stage at the same exact time at UCB. Hey, have you guys ever gone to Upright Citizens Brigade? I'm a graduate from there. I went to class in New York and out here in LA, and she was the guest monologuist for the night. And my friend Anna, I don't know if Anna's there, but she was sitting in the audience, and I was like, I want to be on stage. I want to sit on the stage. And then I heard she was going to be there, and she was sitting at one point right next to me, and I was like, Anna, did you take a picture? And she's like, no. And I'm like, dang it. Like I could have had this picture of the twins. Anyway, yeah, that was kind of a fun moment. But why am I telling you all this? Because I really believe that you could be a full-time voiceover artist, especially if you're just doing non-union work. There's tons of work to be done. Um, but I I don't know when that would start for you. Only you basically are the creator of that. But it sounds like you are doing non-union work because you've got e-learning, promotional, and audiobooks. I'm not sure, but you could let me know, Jen, if that's if that kind of answers your question. Oh, did I miss the answer to my question, Amanda? I don't think I got to you yet. Let me check. Oh, let's see. Amanda. Most important. Yeah, you did miss it. But I'll send it to you. I'll send you this will be available online later. And yes, Amanda, we will have a chat about the most important pieces of an audio reel. But yeah, it's really different for everyone, Jen. And I am not really a non-union work supporter once you become union. Obviously, I'm a union girl. I really believe in just doing union work. So unless it's for a charity, I will not work non-union. I made that decision many years ago, and I have a story about that, and I could tell it now. Mattel wanted to hire me to do 5 voices for the Barbie movie, and I was like, oh, they want me to be Barbie because my name is Barbie. No, that's not what they wanted. They wanted me to. They already had Barbie, and they had Skipper and Kate Chelsea. Yeah, I think that was her name. But they wanted me to play 5 different voices in the cast, like minor voices. And I was so excited. I'm like, I love Barbies. Oh my god, I've always played with them, and my name is Barbie. This is so perfect. It's gonna look so good on my IMDb. And that's the voice that I do when I get a job. No, and I was so excited, and I knew the director. He was a really good friend of mine, and he was so excited, and I got the job, whatever. And then I get an email, and it's from one of the casting directors, and it says non-union. Thank you for the thumbs up. It says non-union. It's a non-union contract, and I wrote her back immediately, and I was like, hmm. I'm union, so could I have a union contract? And she's like, no. Like, no? What do you mean, no? That's all I do. And so I said, there must be some, I'm always polite, always be polite. I wrote her back and I was like, that just doesn't sound right because I'm a union person and I don't work on non-union work. And she said, we have celebrities working on this, so are you in or are you out? And it was very rude. It was very like to the point, like don't test me here. And she wrote how much you would make for it. So let me just tell you how much they were willing to pay me. $250 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. So that means $500 a day, right? The average rate, just the standard rate for doing animation for one day, and that includes 30 minutes all the way to, I believe, 6 hours with a break. And then once you hit over 6 hours, you're given overtime as an artist. Okay, just so you know, the standard rate for one day of work as a SAG artist is 900 and something dollars. It's like basically $1,000. And usually, if you work before, they do SAG scale plus 10 because then the agent gets 10% of the whole thing, but at least there's something added on so the artist isn't giving like the whole store away. So you got that? So I was livid because I work really fast. So I could probably do all 5 of those voices probably in 2 hours. right? So I did 5 voices. And when you're doing a SAG script, usually you're not allowed to do more than 1 voice. You can sometimes do up to 3. There's like rules and sometimes they change. So just know that, by the way, if you're going to, that's another free piece of advice. If you're going to do animation, you should definitely have an agent. They should definitely negotiate for you. You should not be negotiating. And you never want to do more than 1 voice unless you're getting paid per voice. Okay. Unless it's under the jurisdiction that you can do 3 voices in 1 day. Talk to your agent about it. I don't know all the details. They change sometimes, so I'm not going to give you the, end result of that. But I looked at this email and I took a deep breath, just like we did before at the beginning of this call. I connected to source and I was like, should I be upset that they sent this to me, or should I go FICOR? Now, FICOR, some of you might know what that is when you are SAG, but you allow yourself to go for non-union work at the same time. And here's why I'm not for FICOR. If I called SAG that day and I was like, I don't want to, give up a chance to be on a Barbie movie. Like, this could be more work for me. And, I love Barbie and my name is Barbie. That's my nickname and my Instagram name. And I called SAG and I said, what would you do? And clearly, SAG is going to be pro SAG. But here's the worst part of all of this, like being FICOR when you are SAG and you can put SAG on your resume still, kind of, but you're also going for non-union work. SAG rates only go up. They don't go down, right? When I joined, it was like $1,600. Now it's like over 3,200 or something just to join. So I'm so sorry if that's how much you have to pay to join. But hopefully you'll do a gig that's so big that it just like, takes care of the fees and then you can just join. And then every year, you have to pay SAG fees so that you can get your residual checks and someone's taking care of it. I don't want to have to chase down Amy Schumer and all these people, to do their voices. And, the movie Snatch was playing here and here and here. I don't want to have to, how could I even calculate that? I don't even know how to, I wouldn't even know where to begin. But SAG does that for us, right? It's so cool. And you get pension and you get health benefits if you hit a certain number, and free movies every year. And there's so many cool things that you get with SAG. You get screenings, you can take free classes. I've taken voice classes with Gerald White, who's amazing. If you want to do sight singing, like let's say a movie like Glee comes out, or a TV show like Glee comes out, and you want to be one of the people that sings in the background of Glee. So, or on commercials like, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Anyway, if you want to do something like that, right, the background singers, you have to take sight singing classes and also make connections, and you can do that at SAG. Okay, putting all the benefits of SAG away, if you drop out of SAG and you say, I'm going FICOR, which is a fancy way of saying I want to be both SAG and non-SAG, SAG goes, okay, you want to be FICOR? You're out of there. You can't be in SAG anymore. So you can keep writing SAG on your resume, but you're not really SAG. You don't get any of the benefits. You are out. And if you want to get back in, you have to hire a lawyer. And that lawyer is going to charge you whatever they charge to draft up a letter and beg for you to get back into SAG. Then once they say yes, which could take years, she told me, then once you're in, because you basically turned your nose up, you've given up your membership, you turned your nose up and you've said, I don't need union, I'll just do non-union work, right? Then you also have to pay all the fees to come back, and they might add an additional 1,000 or 2 or 3 just because you dropped out, and they may never let you in again. If you want to do that for $500, go for it. But to me, I couldn't do it. I was already SAG for like at least 10 years, 12 years. Excuse me. And I didn't want to give that up, and I didn't want to pay SAG. And what I did that day is I took a deep breath and I prayed and I said, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, I said, I am giving up these 5 roles on this Barbie movie so that I will get union work that I love. And about a year, it took about a year, like 8, I auditioned about 5-6 months later for Chili Cow, and I became the voice of Chili Cow ice cream. And it was union, and it's been so fun. And they use me constantly for in-house work, and it's like, I'm wearing red, white, and blue today, but it's like I love America, and you know, this ice cream is so America, like not in a George W. type of way. Maybe it is, I don't know. But it's just, it's like, I felt like that was a gift from the universe. Like, oh, you want union work? You get to have this. And yeah, I don't get to work for Barbie, but I actually don't really like Mattel anymore. And when I see Mattel videos and I see Mattel games and uh, packaging for like the dolls and the commercials and whatever, I get a little, sick inside because they're a wonderful company. They've given, lots of jobs to lots of different people. And I even know some people that work there in house, um, and who also work on the creative team. But they are not nice to actors, you know? And it's a shame because you turn on a Mattel movie and it might be really beautiful to look at, but if the sound is off on an animated film by Mattel, can you tell what's going on? Nope. But if you close your eyes and you turn up the volume all the way, it's like a radio show. You may not get all the visuals, for sure. You might not. And there might be magical characters and you don't know what they look like. And there might be like, if you ever watched Punky Brewster, like a gloomer character or something sparkly that happens that you can't see. But you could tell more by listening to the amazing voiceover actors and the writers that wrote that script. Way more than if you were just watching what happened, right? So that's kind of the answer to voiceover right there in terms of whether you should do non-union or union work once you're union. But having said that, I don't want you to get discouraged if you're not union yet and you're having a great run like Jen Phelps over here. um, you should totally keep doing non-union work and create a great demo from all the work that you're getting, because unfortunately fortunately there's a lot of non-union work right now. I don't necessarily think the quality is as good as when you use union actors, but but having said that, there still is a lot of decent non-union work, and for sure you should be doing that until you're union, until you have the money to join, or until you get a SAG job that allows you to. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a great thing to be SAG eligible and get to be choosy, but once you become SAG AFTRA, um, just do union work, please, because there's a reason why we have a union, and it's big, and it is because of things like Me Too. It is like I just told you, when Mattel pays somebody like me $500 for 2 hours of work, and I will never get a residual check. They Every time someone buys a video now from Mattel, or a network buys the Barbie movie, right, like Netflix, we're never going to see another check. So by you being a non-union actor and going for a part on Mattel and getting it and like saying, I want to be FICOR, I'm not going to be in SAG anymore, you're saying that's okay, Mattel, you can just pay actors one time and never pay them again. And like I said, when you if you close your eyes and turn the volume up, you still are going to know what's going on because of those actors. But it's so not nice. I This is kind of a harsh term, but that person who I spoke with at SAG, and she was a SAG lawyer, by the way. She was in the legal department. She said, what Mattel's doing is rape. It's terrible. They shouldn't be doing that. So I agree. And I think that they know better and they have enough money to give actors SAG rates. And I think that we should be getting them. So that's my own humble opinion. I'm not trying to diss Mattel at large. They do wonderful things for women. And I think they supported Amy Poehler's Smart Girls stuff. And I love that. And that's awesome. But, we can always grow and we can always learn, and maybe they need to learn to, if they're going to do a SAG project, that they should, and they're hiring SAG actors, they should be paying them SAG rates. Does that make sense? Sorry, Jennifer, that was a really long answer, but I'm so excited that I get to hang out with you and talk to you about all this. Do I have any classes in the evenings, LJ Tatum McKinney? So email me and tell me when you would like to have classes. First of all, are you talking about if you want to do a private one-on-one class? Definitely sign up, number one, for my monthly class in that link that I put, the yourvoiceovervoice.teachable.com, because then you'll get discounts on working with me one-on-one, and we can arrange that whenever you want it privately. But also we can do monthly, the weekly classes, right, the live classes in the monthly class. with the community whenever you guys want. You have to text me when you're available. So days, times, please, and always put PST or EST or CMT wherever you are, because I go back and forth, and so I try to do them around the same time every week, and it is around my schedule. Sorry guys, but it I have to be there. So, and they'll always be taped. Um, okay, thank you, Alchem Roy, for the claps. You love Helen Hunt. I do too, Jennifer Phelps Walls. She's amazing. I actually just saw her on Broadway. She was in a reading of Working, the musical, and she was great. It was so fun to hear her sing. I had never, I think she sang like once on a Mad About You episode, but like it wasn't like a really big deal. And her mom is a great singer. I've actually met her mom before too, because we have like a similar circle of friends. Kind of fun. It's so weird. Can I tell you guys a little story? Do you like my stories? Do you like them? Put a thumb up if you like them, because I have another really cute story. So there's this woman in my life. I don't want to say her name because I don't know. I don't want to out her, but I met her about 15 years ago. She's in a, oh, I see an angry face. You don't like my stories? Oh, you do? Okay, I see happies and I see, okay, I'll tell the story. If you're angry, I'm sorry. I don't know who that is, but I don't want to make you angry. But I see a lot of thumbs up. So anyway, so there's this woman that I met when I first moved to LA through another friend. And my friend who introduced me is, let's call her Sharon. Sharon introduces me to, let's call her Cindy. And Sharon is a writer and a producer, and she introduces me to Cindy. And Cindy comes into my life, and she's a life coach, and she's amazing. And I said to her, can I work with you? And she's like, yeah. And so we started working together, and we together did my first one woman show in LA. And it was called The Colors of My Rainbow. And it was like a cabaret show, but in a theater. It was kind of cool. And I would like pull out like a different color scarf and sing a song based on that color. It sounds like a really good LGBTQ RST show, but it had nothing to do with that. But I love rainbows, and I also have a lot of friends who are in the LGBTs. And so slash Q slash R slash whatever you want to call it. And so I totally support you guys. But it was a great show. And in the process of working with her, I think on our first or second meeting, I started doing my Helen Hunt impression. And she was like, she turns to her husband who's in the room, and she's like, honey, doesn't she sound like hell? And I go, like hell? No, my last name is Heller. And why would you say hell in front of me? That's so rude. And she goes, no, we're really close with Helen Hunt. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, you're in LA, like that's an LA moment. And it turned out that she was really, really close with her, and was like, all like her babysitter at one point. She's like an older, and it was crazy because this woman, I wouldn't say she became my babysitter, but she kind of became almost like a mom to me, and like an aunt, or like, that kind of a feeling. And it turned out that she was the same for Helen Hunt. And I was like, I can't believe this lady and me, like, we're connected in the same way she is to Helen. It's just so funny. And I eventually met her through this woman, but it took years because she would tell her about me occasionally, and she'd be like, oh, that's so cute. And then eventually, because we had all these other friends in common, I eventually saw her like at a party once, and I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. I was like so starstruck. And I've worked with like Keanu Reeves. I've worked with like really big Hollywood people, and always a little starstruck, but that was, oh my gosh. And then she was like, hi, I'm Helen. And I was like, it took everything in my power not to imitate her back. Like I was about to be like, I'm Barbara, but I didn't. I was like, Barbara. And I sounded like a robot. Anyway, that is a true story. Okay, what was that in an answer to? Do you have any of your classes in the evenings? See, isn't that a great answer? Okay. Oh no, because you said you love Helen Hunt. Yes. Oh, hi, Allie Kirstein. Oh my God. Hi. She's one of my theater camp friends. We went to theater camp together. Angie Parker. Hey. Hey, Angie. Jesse Bratter. Oh my God. Hi, Jesse Bratter. Are you still there? KL Ross. Can you transition from an announcer to a voiceover artist? Abso-frickin-fruitly. Yes, you can, KL Ross. You can. I think that, well, what kind of announcing do you do? That's what I would want to know. We're going to get to these other questions in a second, but Yes, I definitely think you can transition from an announcer to a voiceover artist. I mean, remember that guy with the golden voice? He's like a black, beautiful man. He was homeless and he was like, there was a huge viral video that went out about him. I think it was on like 60 Minutes or the Today Show. It was like a really big thing. And he had the most, it's called the homeless man with the golden voice or something like that. He was like on the side of the road and he was holding up a sign that said something like, I'm a voiceover person or announcer. That's like a great example of somebody who was an announcer, I think, on radio. And then he became, of course, I mean that is a voiceover artist, but he also now like has his own talk show. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, no, I don't want to reconnect. I do not want to reconnect. What's happening? Can you guys hear me? Oh man. Let's see. My video. Okay, we are not done. So you guys better just come on back and reconnect. But I hope you reconnect. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But are you there? Is anybody there? Hello? Let's see. I was looking for my questions from the last people. Let's see if I can find you. Hold on one second. Can you guys hear me? Are you there? Are people joining? Oh, Selena, we're back. Yes. Technical difficulties, but we're here. Hang on one second. I'm just pulling up the other questions so I can see them. If you guys want to re-ask your questions, that would be awesome because we got disconnected because of technology. Oh, technology. Okay. I'm looking for your questions. So just hang on one second. I'm looking for your questions. Let's see here. Where are they? Hi, guys. I see 3 of you are back. Hi, Selena. You're really sweet. Hold on one second. I'm looking for your questions real quick. Can you ask me the rest of your questions? That would be so awesome. If you're back, that would be great. I'm just looking right now. I'm trying to pull up your questions from the last one. Just one moment. Okay. So I see it. Oh, here we go. Technology doesn't always work for us. That's right. Okay. Guys, I started a new live video. Come look. Okay. Connected. We are back. Oh, that's me. Okay, hold on. Can you not hear me? I'm just looking for the questions, so just give me one second on the other video. Okay, we got the Teachable class. Do you want to just ask me them? Let's see. Yeah. Okay, hold on one second. I'm just looking for your questions still. We're going to get there. Don't worry, just be patient. A few more comments. Okay. I enjoy singing. Did I miss an answer to my question? We already went through that. Okay. Can you provide samples? Here we go. Dan Petty. Can you provide samples of different genres so that we have an idea what we're shooting for? Yes, I do that in my class. Dan, are you there? Hope you can hear me. Dan Petty, yes, I can provide samples of voiceovers. We're going to talk about each one of those at the very end. And I have an entire class set up for that. Oh, thank you, Rachel Applebaum. I'm so glad you're there. I have classes, especially at the beginning of each of the genres. And so I will definitely get into all of that if that's what you want to hear. And I even have, well, you're going to see all this, but part of the free stuff that you get with the class is that there's a playlist on my YouTube page that gives you, excuse me, burping up a storm, that gives you access to all of the different genres, and we go through them in the class. And then my plan is to have different offshoot classes for commercials, for animation, for video games, and we really get into the heart of all of that. So if that's something that you would like, just email me and we'll definitely set that up. Also, just a reminder, the Teachable link is in the comments for the other video, and I will put it in here now. And the cart opens today, and it ends August 15th. So you want to sign up as soon as possible for the monthly class. That's $97 a month for 4 months, or just pay 400 and then it's like done for the 4 months. And you'll get all this free stuff. And then you should also sign up for the 3-day challenge, which is going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. But you'll have a whole week from now, Thursday until Wednesday, to do your homework. So do your homework, and it's totally free, and you'll get like even more of an idea of what I'm like as a teacher. So, okay, I was telling you about the golden voice guy. So can you transition from announcer to a voiceover artist? Yes, you absolutely can. He did it. He was homeless and he did it. So yes, you absolutely can. Is having an agent a must? So no, it's not a must. It's not. But it is the kind of thing that is very, very, oh, not radio, church announcing and public speaking. Sorry. Yes, church announcing for sure, and public speaking for sure. Let me go back to Kale Ross's question. Yes, what I mean is anytime you're announcing or being like a narrator or someone of note on stage, even if you're a teacher and you're doing, when you're using your voice, yes, you can take all those skills and you can pop it into doing voiceover for sure, 100%. And I love that you speak at your church. I love religion, and I love people that are into their religion. I think it's so cool. Do you know who I taught here? Here's another story. I talked to, I was on Instagram Live the other night with Finally Aaron. Look up Finally Aaron if you haven't seen him already. He's the guy. He's a beautiful black man, very tall, very big, and he was the one who did the Golden Girls theme. Who's like, "Oh, we started from the bottom, now we're here, girl. Hey," that guy. I sang with him live. I got onto his Instagram Live, and it was so fun. And I did my impression of Whitney Houston for him, because I'm doing a song in my next cabaret show that is called "I'm Breaking Up with You, iCloud." If I should stay, you would only be in my way. Yeah, that's the beginning of it. Anyway, you get the point. I do parodies. Okay, is having an agent a must? Yes, I believe that an agent is a definite goal that you want to have within your first year of doing voiceover. It is not a must for doing non-union. You can just go on Voices 123, which used to be voicebank.net, which got bought out. They have tons of non-union work, and you don't need an agent for that. But it's so much more helpful when you have one to do union work. And that is the only kind of work that I do right now, and probably forever. So I highly, highly recommend getting an agent, and I can help you with the steps in getting one. LaPetra, hello. Hello back. Adrienne Fountain, hello. Love Helen Hunt. I love you, Jennifer. You're awesome. Selena, loud and clear. Thank you. Good morning from Louisiana. We got that. I'm still here. Nice. Just east of us. Jennifer Phelps Walls, I hope you're writing stuff down. Pam Cooper, we talked about no sound, and Brian can hear me. Okay, let's go to the questions. Iced coffee, ready to go. I love you, Amanda. That's awesome. We got 3 more questions. What time do you normally do weekly classes? Dan Petty, this is such a good question. So I was doing them last cohort, the last time I did this class from January through June. I was doing it at 4 p.m. Eastern time, which is 1 p.m. Pacific time. That is the time that everybody liked the most out of the times that I gave them. I put in a couple of times for everybody else. I like 8 a.m. Pacific time / 11 a.m. Eastern time, if you guys like that. And I like it on a Monday, Tuesday, any of the days works for me. Or if it's going to be in the afternoon, yeah, I think 4 p.m. works best, Eastern time, and 1 p.m. Pacific time. But you can write to me and tell me, because generally, even though sometimes my workshop classes can be up to 100 people, these classes, and this is the cool thing, when you sign up, a lot of people may sign up for the actual 4-month thing, but if you sign up and you actually do the classes, they get small. And so you get really great interactive coaching which is normally $200 with me for an hour, you'll be getting it for, well, it's included in the price of the $100 for the month. I mean, it's like nothing. Even if you went to one class one time once a week, or sorry, once for the month, you're already getting your money back and more. So I highly recommend it. But yeah, Dan, you can tell me what day and time you want to do, and the people that actually do it once a week, they um, they show up and it's a small group, which is great. And so you'll get a nice private coaching. So that, because it's such a small group, you guys can make up what the times are. And you'd be surprised. You'd think that everybody would want to get their money's worth. But I mean, I think just the package of classes that I've already recorded, like the videos and the PDFs and all the stuff that you get in terms of like how to's, like how to make a demo and what this means and how to make the best audition that you can and how to send it into your agent, how to edit. These are all the things that are included in the Teachable package. I mean, that's also worth like thousands of dollars probably, because it's, imagine having classes that I record with you and me in the room and I squeeze it into videos and upload it to Teachable. That's what that is. So I think it's very, very, very packed with quality. Like, I think it's like it's an awesome class. I worked really hard on it, and I definitely wanted it to be something that everyone could afford, but also would, you get a lot of value. And so yeah, let me know what days and times work for you, and we will figure that out. Are there any other questions that you guys have? I'm gonna take a look right now. We are back. Technology. Guys, I started a video. Come look. Okay. Let me just go through a couple more things. You will enter there's a special group once you sign up for the Teachable class. You also get access not just to the 3-day challenge, because that'll be over by the time it starts August 15th, but you will get a free pass in to this members only voiceover group on Facebook. And it's kind of like this, where, I'll be doing a face live chat sometimes, but I'll also put up, inspirational quotes, and I'll give you guys, like, sometimes when I go in for an audition, I'll videotape myself, and I get other voiceover actors to be on it, and I'll ask them questions, and you'll have like helpful hints and just great stuff to kind of chew on. So, and it's a place for you guys to interact and get a partner to work with, online or on the phone or even in person if you guys happen to be in the same city, or maybe you'll have a pen pal or you'll meet in person. But it's the kind of thing where you guys will be interacting, like, oh my God, I couldn't understand the homework. Can you help me? It's a place for just us, the people that have signed up for the class, have paid, have put their best foot forward, want to be voiceover actors, giving helpful hints, sharing how great an audition went, how bad it went, what could I do better. That's that special private group. I'm having a hard time getting inspiration today, that kind of a thing. So you will need to know what your goals are for that. You will, or at least try. And even put down, I don't know what my goals are yet. I'm trying to figure it out. That's fine. Everyone's going to put their goals. Everyone's going to pick a friend to start with in that class, in that group. And again, this is once you've actually paid the money to join. Okay. And if you've already been in the class, but you're not a current member, unfortunately, I have to kick you out. So just make sure that's an ongoing thing. If you want to do private coachings with me, I am going to put that in the comments here as well. Just put that in. It's on GenBook. Oh, hi, Jenny Hanna. Okay, here's another question from Lashana Tripp. How do you even locate listings for auditions, especially in an area such as Birmingham, Alabama, where unless you know someone at a production studio, you won't find out about them? I totally get that question. Thank you, Lashana. So there are lots of places where there are voiceover jobs posted. Craigslist. The best place is Voices 123, and we can talk about that in my class. But that's a place where you want to, first of all, you want to have a little website. You can do it for free and just upload a reel, or even just make a YouTube page and put your voiceover demo there once you create it. And then you'll have to audition, and you'll have to learn how to do auditions in your closet or in a studio. And we're going to talk about that too. Okay.
pick a weekly time to meet online and be coached and supported with the group. So that is, that's up to you. You got to tell me what day and time works for you. Just email me, let me know. Sometimes I give away free prizes. Like I have a desk mic stand. I have 2 of those, and I want to give those away to the first 2 people that sign up for this cohort. I'm going to be giving away fake scripts now and then, and like ask you like to do them for the group live. So now let's talk about the categories of voiceover. Finally, we're like towards the end. I'm like way over time. I was only going to do like an hour and 15, and now it's like an hour and a half, but it's so much fun working with you guys, and I'm so glad you're still here. So we have animation, commercial, ADR, mocap, video game, trailers, and promos. So let's go into a little bit of each of those. So animation is like Shark Tales, which we talked about before. It would be totally like The Little Mermaid, Lion King, right? So that's all animation. There's also animation just online. There are YouTube channels. There are, there's just the web space. And then there's also animation just for commercials. So you would think, am I auditioning for animation or commercial? Sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's an animated piece of a commercial. I have a friend that directs just that. Like his life is, I direct animation for commercials. Isn't that funny? For instance, like the Rice Krispie guys, right? The little characters for Rice Krispies. Those are animated characters that only appear in commercials. So animation is that. It's anything that has to do with you voicing a character that's animated. And that also includes like the BB-8 character, which is in Star Wars. So when you hear BB-8's voice, by the way, that is voiced by 2 of my favorite people in the whole wide world, Bill Hader and Ben Schwartz, who I have a huge crush on. Don't tell him, but oh my God, he's so adorable. The worst. He's amazing. That character is voiced by those 2 people, which is hilarious. In fact, I didn't even know that more than one person could make up a voice until I voiced the Mummy with Tom Cruise. That was like one of the biggest jobs I've gotten in the last few years. Me and 3 other women, you know who you are if you're seeing this, we voiced that character because Tommy was like, I don't know, I want it to be more than I want it to be more than one character. I'm not really Tom Cruise impersonator, but I have a friend who is. He's so good at it, David Kopp. So it's 4 women becoming one character. That's the Mummy. If you go and watch the movie The Mummy, you're going to hear a little bit of me and a little bit of the 3 other women that made her. That was a really interesting day, by the way. Okay, that's animation. You guys know what animation is. Commercials. Commercials are radio, TV, and web, basically. I don't think that. Oh, and also in the movie theater, before you hear, you know how they have commercials now and then they have trailers? Did you notice that? It's like the lights are half lit for the commercials in the movie theater, and then all of a sudden the trailer comes up. So those are also considered commercials, and they're only in the movie theater. Commercial is whether you're speaking to the camera or behind the scenes in a commercial. That's all voicing a commercial. I just did a commercial for a pharmaceutical company. I had to do 3 different commercials for them. They still haven't picked the right one, or they haven't picked their one yet. And it's all animated, but it's a voice over the animation. So it's a woman, like, it's an animated character getting groceries, and I'm the voice behind her going, are you having pain when you go down the aisle at the grocery store? Right? That's still voiceover because I'm not doing her voice. If I was doing that lady's voice who was walking down, like, oh, Cheerios, like that would be animation. But because I'm doing the voiceover, you get it, right? Okay. So that's commercial. And there's definitely a difference, right, between animation being like someone who's in the moment being that character. That's animation, right? Like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, like, Scooby, what are you doing? Right? Like that's someone, you're recreating the person in the moment. And usually voiceover is narrating, usually, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes they really go hand in hand, but I still would not put them on the same demo because animation is really more presentational and commercial is more representational. It's more like narrator, like, I know everything. Let me just tell you what the best detergent is to buy. Speaking of detergent, I did Clorox too for a while. So we have commercials, we have animation, separate demos. Got it? ADR is going to be another separate demo, and ADR is what I do probably the most out of. This is so annoying. I keep having to stop. I'm so sorry. Anyway, ADR, it's probably just too long. We gotta make this quick, guys. ADR is more me impersonating somebody and doing their voice, right, over what's happening in the scene. So I do something that's pretty fun where I call it kosherizing the movie. So every time you hear Amy Schumer on a plane and you're watching a movie and she says a word that starts with a P and it's probably like not such a nice word, I'm the one who changes it, right? So if she's saying the F word, you hear Barb saying fudge. That's me. So instead of the other word, I take all the movies and I make them clean. I clean them up, and I do all that like it's called punching in. So Sandra Bullock, Helen Hunt, Melissa McCarthy, Wanda Sykes, Amy Schumer, Kate Hudson. I've done Kate Hudson's mom, also Goldie Hawn. Um, there's so many. Reese Witherspoon, Mila Jovovich, oh my God, Emily Blunt. Who else have I done? A lot of people. You can go to my Kate Winslet. You can go to my voiceover ADR reel on my YouTube page and you'll see it. Or you can just go at barbheller.com and you can see my reels. Okay. So ADR is when you punch in for another actual person. And if there's a plane flying overhead and a live on camera thing and that maybe a piece of it got clipped off because you heard a plane, so then maybe you'll come in and do some improv and like go over that little space in time, and also like punching in over bad words or doing more improv, like for the Heat with with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. There's a place where Sandra Bullock, I remember when she gets stabbed in the leg. So there was a particular moment where I guess the sound dropped out, and so Paul Feig, who I was working with for 3 days in a studio, it was so much fun. He's like, "Can you pretend? Let's just pretend like you have a sharp pain in your leg, and can you do more on top of what Sandra's already done?" And I was like, "Sure." So because the sound dropped out for a minute, I actually had to say the F word, which I try really hard not to swear. So I was like, how can I go around swearing? So I just went fa 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 like that. And you really, you have to be in the moment. You have to act. They can tell when it's not real. But yeah, I just kind of improvised on top of what she already did. So that's ADR. It's doing the impression of the actor and just kind of going over it. Mocap, and you'll see some pictures of me in the studio when I did Kung Fu Panda. That's like when you don't always get the chance to do this, but motion capture is when you put those little, they're like satellite balls all over your body. Well, it's in a suit, but it's all over your body, and then they're there because the animators actually take video of you, they put it on a screen, and then they take the actual animated character and like draw it over your body so that every little move you make is already in there, and they have these little weird pressure points everywhere. You don't feel it, obviously. You're just moving in the scene, but you're wearing this, like, it looks like almost like a wetsuit, and you and the other character, like I was Mei Mei and my friend Mick is playing Poe, and he sounds just like Jack Black. It's so scary. And I'm sounding like Kate Hudson, and we're actually playing out the scenes from Kung Fu Panda, the TV show. You can watch it. And so they film us acting out the entire scene. We're doing the actual voiceover into a microphone. It's attached to us. We're acting it out the scene, and then they're drawing at the same time over us, the actual characters. So mocap usually is done separately, but at DreamWorks they try to do it where the person is actually playing, who's actually playing it, their mouth and face and body is moving at the same, because if my eyes go up when I say, "Oh, Poe, please," right, my eye, they have one over my eyebrows, so they pick it up through the mocap, and then they're able to put it, it's much easier to put it together with the voice at the same time. But not everybody does that. Sometimes they have a mocap person doing the moves, and then the voiceover person comes in later and they just move the mouth along. I don't know if that makes sense, with the voices that's taped, or they'll tape the voice first and then draw it over there with the person who's doing the mocap. Does that make sense? It's usually, sometimes it's separate because it's hard to get somebody like me who's willing to put on the suit, wake up really early and do 5 hours of taping. It's so much fun though. So that's mocap. So that would also go into animation. And then video games are basically somewhere in between animation and ADR, depending on whether the mouth has already been created or not, and you're looking at the screen and you're doing the characters' lines along with the mouth moving. That's actually real ADR. But when I did the Sony video game for The Walking Dead, they hadn't done the mouth yet. They were waiting for me. They had all the pieces and they had my character. I was actually playing this like super like masculine looking woman with it takes place in Portland, and she was wearing this like heavy coat, and she had this like southern accent. She's basically like a guy, but kind of sounded like this. And she was like a born again Christian, which was really interesting. I remember that for some reason, and she was like the Lord. She kept saying that. But anyway, that was interesting because the mouth hadn't been created yet. They were waiting for me to voice it, but I had her face and I had her likeness, and I was like watching it. She's like killing all these zombies and like walking through Portland. It was a beautiful setting. It just was like, I don't like killing and guns and stuff. Not into it. But thank God her scenes were actually really poignant and sweet. And she was like talking about like the Lord doesn't want us doing these things. Um, anyway, that was funny. Okay, so thank you, KL Ross. Thank you so much for the claps. I'm sorry that we've had to hang up twice. This is so weird. Okay, and then so we did video games. Trailers are like I did Mila Jovovich's voice, and I've also done Amy Adams for trailers, and Sandra Bullock. Were usually at the very end of the movie, you know, they're quickly like trying to do the trailer. I remember for Ghostbusters, which was another, for the female version, which was another movie by Paul Feig, they did like 7 different trailers because the first one was too scary and it was really a comedy, and then they did it. I don't know if you remember that. There was like this whole controversy. So I actually had to do auditions for every single one of the characters because I do all their voices, Kristen Wiig and Kate McKinnon and Melissa McCarthy. I would like do all their voices. So anyway, that for trailers, it's generally you overdubbing or ADRing the person's voice, or like maybe, you know, they turn around and you just need an extra word. Like I remember for Amy Adams, she had to be like, oh, I didn't know, something like that. And so I had to create that. You know, we went through, like the writers had like some ideas for me, but she was too busy filming another movie. I think it was The Arrival was the trailer I was doing, and she was doing that next movie. Oh, I can't think of what it is right now, but it won like a bunch of awards. She was in that movie, like filming every day, so she had no time to do this trailer. And so, you know, I came up because I do improv. I'm a UCB graduate, and I went to the Groundlings. You know, I came up with like some ideas, and that's also a really good thing to have in your back pocket, is like lots of improv. And then promos are basically what you see usually on television or like on Netflix promoting another movie or show that's coming up. So it's a commercial for a television show or a commercial for a movie, but it's not a trailer. Does that make sense? It's like on the next Kate and Allie. Well, yeah, that would be, you can totally tell them from the 80s, but I don't know if anyone even knows what that is. I don't know why that one came up for me, but it's like, you know, coming up on another, you know, comedians in cars getting coffee or something like that. That would be a promo. Like Jerry Seinfeld has a promo out right now, right? I just saw it because he kind of like is nodding at a show like mine, which is like similar to his show, where he's like, I guess we've been inspiring other shows, you can imagine. Like, you know, there's 2 to 3 name things that have alliteration, like cougars in cars getting coffee or whatever that is. And he's like, what is the deal with everybody imitating my show? I don't get it. So I think that sounded more like Paul Reiser than Jerry Seinfeld, but don't quiz me. So that's like a promo because it's a promo based on his show. It's not a trailer, it's a promo. Okay, you get it. So if you want to hear more about each of these and what goes into each of them, sign up for a private lesson with me, or go ahead and sign up for the actual class, which is, again, you can pay monthly, one like $97 installment at a time, or you could do 400 or 397, I think comes out to at the beginning, and then you never have to think about it for the 4 months. Do you guys have any more questions? Because I'm going to put in one more time the Teachable class link for my class right now. I'm going to put it in the comments right here. Got it? Okay, so sign up for that. And then as soon as you sign up for that, I'll get you into the private voiceover group. And you can also get these 2 freebies that I have for you. And we have the voiceover challenge for 3 days that's coming up next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I'm going to copy that now. So sign up for this. Oh, I did it twice. That's so weird. Okay, hold on. Technology, right? Hold on. Challenge for 3 days. Oh my gosh. It's kind of hard to like. Do you guys have any more questions? Ask me, because I'm still here. Okay. This is the challenge for 3 days. So sign up for this too. There you go. There's another blue link right there. This is so dumb. This is the fourth one we've had to do. I'm usually not going to go over an hour and a half like this. This is crazy. I just can't stop talking because you're so cool. You're right there. And also, this is a webinar from the past that I can send you one of my webinars from the past and why I started this class in the first place if you want to see it. So anyway, that's basically it. Let me know if you want anything else answered. Please email me and let me know what you would like to know about these classes and private coachings. And I hope that this was really helpful for you. And if you have any more questions, oh, hi, Pammy. Hi, Pamela. Let me know because I'm here. I'm sorry that there's been so many like hiccups today. This is our fourth. It's our fourth Facebook Live video in the last 2 hours. But I just want to say I've had so much fun hanging out with you guys. It's been about 2 hours and it went by so fast. I would really love to see you in the 3-day challenge, which starts Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, but it actually starts right now. So if you sign up for the 3-day challenge now, you will be getting little inspiration from me every day. And you can ask me anything on there. You can ask me anything anywhere. If you want to email me here, text me, whatever, like through Facebook Instant Messenger. You can also find me on Instagram at Barbie Heller, BarbieHelleler. Or you can also do Gen Book, which is you can sign up for a private coaching with me. And you can also sign up for my monthly class, which I call it a monthly class because you pay monthly for it, but it's ongoing. And you can also do probably the entire curriculum in 4 months. Although some people did it for 6 months last time and they said it wasn't enough time because there's so many videos and there's so many PDFs and there's so much to get through. But I break it down each week in bite-sized pieces for you to really get started in a voiceover. So I hope you've had a good time. I really enjoyed hanging out with you. Please email me, ask me questions. If I didn't get to your question, I think I got to all of them. I'm pretty sure I got to all of them. But if there's anything that I missed, please email me. I will email you right back. And I'm going to put those 2 links in one last time so that you have them. The what do you call it? The 3-day challenge and the monthly learning. Here, let's do this. This is the 3-day challenge. And here's the link for the Teachable class. Those are the 2 things. The only 2 things you want to do today is do the Teachable class as well as the 3-day challenge because it's all free stuff. In the 3-day challenge, that's all free. And then also, hold on. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah. Challenge for 3 days. Oh, I went out twice. Hold on. Technology is so fun. And I think every time I've been posting stuff, that's when it conks out. So hopefully it won't conk out. But again, if you have any questions, just go to the 3-day challenge, ask me there, or sign up for the Teachable class. If you're in town in Studio City or near Studio City, LA this weekend, I have 1 spot left in my live in-person workshop. I'd love to see you there. I had so much fun with you guys today. Ask me questions. please sign up for the monthly class. Let me know what days and times you want to meet once a week, and do your homework for the challenge for the 3 days. You won't. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to go to the challenge for 3 days Facebook page to find out what the challenge is and get the homework. And I'm going to make this entire video, this webinar that we did today, available on YouTube. I'm going to try to edit it all together if they allow me to do that. Or I'll just keep it all on my page so you can see it there and you'll just go from one video to the next. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did, please let me know. I see 3 comments, but those are just from me. I'm going to check my other ones now and I'm going to email you there. I hope you have a wonderful day and I can't wait to see you in class. Thanks for joining.